A world where cats do computer upgrades? It's a madhouse! A madhouse! Greetings, sinners and saints, and welcome to Sunday School. In the book, The Road Ahead, Bill Gates, co-founder and then CEO of Microsoft, says, "Human DNA is like a computer program, but far, far more advanced than any software we've ever created. Every living cell, including the millions and millions which make up your body, is comprised of complex machinery run by the information in the DNA. If the information in the simplest cell known was printed out, it would take more than 50 pages to do so. If the information in a single one of your own cells was printed out, it would take more than 1,000 volumes to print it all. Each of your cells contains a library of information. The founder of Microsoft acknowledges that the information in your cells is not random, chaotic chemistry, but a collection of information, like a computer program, but far, far more advanced than any software we've ever created." The computer I'm working on right now is running Windows 10. Every now and then, Microsoft forces my computer to install an upgrade. A collection of computer programmers with a certain objective and clearly defined goals make a change to existing information, which runs my computer, for the purpose of improving its function. More than half of the upgrades in the past 2 years has forced me to begin my day trying to restore my computer into a functional state, because the upgrade has made my computer incapable of even starting up. The reason why Windows functions is because when that room full of programmers develops an upgrade, the computers which are upgraded survive, and the room full of programmers get a few thousand angry emails from users letting them know what didn't go according to plan, so that the room full of programmers can fix the most recent upgrade and try it again. But imagine a different scenario. Imagine it's the 1980s and tens of thousands of home computers are running Windows 3.1. Also, imagine that errors caused by upgrades didn't just make it difficult to start up, but often caused the computer to burst into flames, destroying it completely. Let's say around 99% of the time. Can you picture it? I think you can. Also, let's imagine that upgrades are not designed by a collection of computer programmers with certain objectives and a clearly defined goal. Instead, let's imagine that your upgrades were caused by cats sneaking into your house at night and walking around on the keyboard. These cats have no objectives or goals, and they certainly don't know anything about programming. They don't know they're updating your computer. They're just chasing mice, pun intended, and looking for somewhere to nap. If the computer doesn't burst into flames, they can come back again later and do it again. If they hit the right collection of keys, you wake up to Windows 3.11. What a treat that would be! If this happens over and over, you might wake up to Windows 95. If you manage to be part of the lucky 1%, which never has their computer burst into flames, then in only 9 more system upgrades, each comprised of many smaller upgrades, you will have Windows 10. But not just Windows 10, a version of the software which is far, far more advanced than any software we've ever created. This upgrades via sneaking cats is basically the evolutionary story. Blind accidental chance with a 99% chance of failure is required to do what a collection of computer programmers with a certain objective and clearly defined goals seem unable to do sometimes. Make upgrades to advanced software, which improves the system so that it's better than it was before. But this problem has multiple levels. First, the original computer has to build itself from non-functioning parts. The first cell has to build itself from non-living parts. Second, the first operating system has to write itself. The first DNA has to write itself. 3, the operating system has to be compatible with the hardware. The information in the first DNA strand has to code for the many different parts in that cell which built itself. 4, the operating system has to include the information to build another computer and to copy all of the necessary files for functions. The first cell has to be able to make copies of itself, including all DNA and organelles. 5, the operating system has to be upgraded by errors in copying the files from one hard drive to the next. DNA has to have genes added by mutations. 6, the errors in copying files has to invent a local area network. The mutations have to result in multicellular life forms with distinct yet cooperative kinds of cells. 7. The errors in copying files has to invent an internet to control all of the computers while they run their own functions. Mutations have to invent a central nervous system to run the functions of the organism as a whole. 8. Hardware and software upgrades have to happen at the same time with no programmer or computer engineer or goals. Mutations have to add additions to the body plans, such as legs or eyes, while at the same time adding the programming in the central nervous system to make use of those structures for survival with no direction. 9. At every step, a copying error will destroy the hardware. Mutations are almost always lethal. As the mere existence of computers requires the forethought, planning, and intelligent design of many engineers and programmers, the simplest living cell is obvious evidence for the greatest of all designers, our Creator God. The belief that life could arise through natural means betrays either a complete ignorance of the astounding complexity in both the hardware and software of every living cell, or a willing blindness to the clear fingerprints of God. A single living cell existing without the designer God is not merely improbable, it is impossible. Every living thing on earth, like the heavens above, declare the glory of God. Computers require a builder and a programmer. No one would think to argue with this obvious fact. Life is vastly more complex and full of information than any computer, machine, or operating system. How much higher than the greatest team of computer programmers is the mind that designed the brains of computer programmers and the amazing structures of life? Isaiah 55 tells us, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." Thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing, and remember everyone, Jesus loves you.